Salute, shout out to everybody in the building, man. They have officially opened Alligator Alcatraz, guys. Oh, wow.
Florida now, after a turbulent couple of weeks, protests and lawsuits. We've talked about it here on CBS News 24/7. You see the sign there. It's being put up. It's called Alligator Alcatraz right now. It's reportedly up and running, open for business. Video taken just this morning shows that signage going up right outside the detention center gate. CBS News correspondent Chanel Call watching this story, joining us from our newsroom. Chanel, I see you're looking for the very latest updates here. What do you know about the opening of this facility?
Yeah, I actually want to start with some breaking news this hour, Reed. Just moments ago, the Justice Department filed a motion to prevent construction delays for Alligator Alcatraz. As you know, this comes after two environmental organizations had filed a lawsuit essentially looking to pause construction and operation there until a federally required review of any potential environmental impacts was completed. I'm just looking at the filing that was submitted today. The Justice Department saying in part, delaying the construction of Florida's temporary detention center, as plaintiffs requested, would imperil critical immigration enforcement efforts and endanger detainees in overcrowded detention facilities. It goes on to say, Reed, we are proud to defend against these unfounded claims and to help the administration fulfill its fundamental obligation to prioritize the safety and security of Americans. So again, here, the agency essentially vigorously opposing that temporary injunction that those groups had requested. As for what's happening on the ground there, you mentioned that signage going up today. I mean, it looks, Reed, like the government is going full steam ahead with this plan. The Florida Division of Emergency Management tweeted out a photo that I'm hoping we can show you and our viewers. And the caption read, "The first group has arrived at Alligator Alcatraz." Can you pull up that photo, please? In that photo, Reed, you can see there are a couple of white vans there behind that locked fence. Unclear, though, if anyone was or is inside those vans. Now, as for who will be sent to this detention center and how it'll be paid for, we've got a couple of new details to share with you on that front. In a sworn court declaration this morning, a top ICE official said the state of Florida will ultimately decide who is detained there, and that immigrants who are detained will be held by Florida state officials, not ICE. And this is a really important distinction here. It's because the federal government has now given Florida state and local troopers the power to act as ICE immigration agents. The system right now is, as you know, overcrowded. So the idea here is to offer some relief to that agency. Reed, back to you.
All right, Chanel Call.
I remember, I think it was yesterday, well, maybe the day before yesterday, we was talking about the Senate basically passing the big, beautiful bill, guys. And then they're going to the House or Congress, whichever one. Well, it passed today, guys. It most definitely passed today. The big, beautiful bill most definitely passed, guys. What do y'all think about it? It's crazy. It passed.
Yeah, you all can see over me? Yes.
The House has passed the big, beautiful bill, guys.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. It is noon, right? Listen, 6 months ago to the day, I spoke on the House floor about my optimism for America's future. I was optimistic because the American people gave Republicans a historic opportunity, an opportunity to enact the largest tax cut in American history, to finally secure our borders and unleash American energy, an opportunity to put America first again.
They passed it, guys. They passed the big, beautiful bill.
House Republicans, we delivered. And thanks to the work of the House Republican Conference and our president, President Donald J. Trump, Americans have certainty. They will keep more money in their pockets and have the safety and security that they deserve. House Republicans remained unified.
The House passed the big, beautiful bill, guys. Double tap that screen, get the likes up. Most definitely vote on the poll. Is this good for America, guys? Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're new.
No one thought we could do it. Everybody doubted us, didn't they, Mr. Speaker? Right? They doubted us. But here we are again. Mr. Whip, what are we, 6-0?
Yeah, nobody in this room doubted us.
No, nobody here doubted us. But we are unified. We delivered on our promises to the American people. No taxes on tip, no taxes on overtime, tax relief to seniors, enhanced child care tax credits, elimination of the death tax, more ICE agents. We're finishing the border wall and funding the Golden Dome. And most...
Trump, big, beautiful bill passed,
and
guys.
for all
Is
the
it good for
fear-mongering
America?
that goes out there from the Democrats, we actually secured Medicaid for those who need it most. Vulnerable Americans, pregnant women,
What's up,
and the
EJ?
disabled. Compared to the Democrats, who would rather give Medicaid to illegal aliens and MS-13 members. Democrats are fear-mongering because they have no vision, no plan, and no leader. But guess what? We have a leader, and our leader is President Donald Trump. And lastly, let's not forget that actual fiscal sanity is being restored. Because of our work, the One Big Beautiful Bill Act is headed to the president's desk for signature. And today marks the end of the waste, the fraud, and the abuse of American taxpayers' dollars. It marks the end
They
of
passed
higher
the
gas
big, beautiful
prices,
bill,
the end of
guys.
higher energy costs and higher grocery bills. And because of the One Big Beautiful
It will
Bill
be
Act,
signed into
Joe
law.
Biden's border crisis is over. Listen, I applaud my colleagues who worked tirelessly. I don't think the speaker and the whip and the leader have slept in days. But they've worked tirelessly to ensure that we actually delivered on our promises. And I thank President Trump for his
Continue to get those
leadership
likes
in
up,
getting
guys.
this
Double
bill
tap that
across the
screen.
finish line. Without his leadership, none of this would have been possible. His vision, none of this would have been possible. But today we passed actual transformational legislation that will impact every family. Tomorrow, we celebrate our nation's independence, and we set out to spread the message of this historic achievement. But today, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to celebrate. President Trump and the American people's agenda has been delivered. And the man who probably had one of the most difficult jobs was Mr. Emmer, who actually had to whip and count all the votes and get everybody into line. So without further ado, our whip, Tom Emmer.
You know, Mr. Speaker, they always complain about such a small majority, but for us old hockey players, it's just fewer numbers to count.
This
It works
is
out much
crazy,
better.
guys. They passed the big, beautiful
On November
bill.
5th, Americans elected a Republican House, a Republican Senate, and a Republican President with a mandate for change. A mandate to undo the failed policies of the last 4 years and to deliver on President Donald J. Trump's America First agenda. Today, we're all proud to report that by passing our One Big Beautiful Bill and sending it to President Trump's desk to be signed into law, we are fulfilling that mandate. This is a once-in-a-generation piece of legislation that secures our border, unleashes American energy, allows families to keep more of their hard-earned taxpayer dollars in their pockets, cuts waste, fraud, and abuse in government programs like SNAP and Medicaid, modernizes our air traffic control system, strengthens our national defense, and so much more, all while implementing the largest cut in mandatory spending in our
This is going to affect Medicaid. This is going to affect a lot of things going on, guys. Is this a good thing? Make sure you vote in the chat. Also, double tap that screen. That's how you hit the like button. Most definitely subscribe to the channel if you new. The House passed the big, beautiful bill.
history. To put it simply, this bill is President Trump's Make America Great Again agenda being codified into law. From Minnesota to Texas and Maine to California, there are wins in this legislation for every single American. And I couldn't be more proud to be part of the Republican team that got this thing across the finish line. I want to say thank you to our Speaker, Mike Johnson. We should also thank our leader, Steve Scalise. And while she won't tell you what she's doing, we got to give a big thank you to our conference chair, Lisa McClain. I want to thank the chairman of all our committees that worked on the reconciliation instructions for doing all the hard work behind the scenes of putting this bill together. And most importantly, and people who know me know that it's about the team, I want to thank the members of our House Republican Conference for uniting as a team and getting this thing done. As we've said a million times before, do not underestimate the Republican majority in the House, the mighty majority in the House. This legislative process may not always look pretty, and there will always be many tough fights, but one thing is certain: we will always deliver on our promises to the American people. And with that, I turn it over to our great leader, Mr. Scalise.
They are celebrating, guys. The big, beautiful bill has passed. Continue to get those likes up. Subscribe to the channel if you're new.
Well, thank you, Whip. And what a beautiful day here in America. It is the golden age of America again. America's coming back. And I tell you, a lot of people wrote this bill off for dead. Nobody said it would be easy. But you know what? We didn't come here to do easy things. We came here to do big things. We came here to make history. We came here to deliver on the promises we made to the American people, to fight for them and to take power out of Washington and give it back to those families who have been struggling for way too long.
Let's get the likes up, guys. Double tap that screen or click those three dots, hit that thumbs up.
We had a little bit of debate on
Subscribe to
the
the
floor
channel
today.
if you're new.
You got to see a difference between the two parties in Washington, maybe more crystallized than we've ever seen before. And I think that's a good thing. I hope America watched all of it. Watched Democrats falling asleep behind their leader as he went on and on trying to scare the American people with lies, with scare tactics, with depressing stories about things that will never happen unless Democrats keep running this country. But the American people said, we will not live in fear. We are not a country of fear. We're a country of hope. We're a country of optimism. We're a country that believes our brightest days are ahead, and they elected Republicans to deliver on those brighter days. And I think maybe their leader wanted to speak for hours and hours and break records because they wanted to stand in the way of history. But
Yeah,
history,
they spoke for about 11 hours, guys, on why this bill shouldn't be passed. And it passed anyway, guys. It's crazy. Continue to double tap that screen and click those three dots. Hit that thumbs up, man. The House has passed the big, beautiful bill. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're new.
is not going to be denied. We were elected with a purpose. Donald Trump ran all around this country. He went to swing states that they said Republicans could never win. And he didn't give different messages to different places. A lot of us traveled with the president, And the one thing you can say about Donald Trump is it doesn't matter where he went. When you listen to his speech, it was probably going to be a little bit longer than the paper that was written. Might have been about a 15-minute long speech because President Trump speaks from the heart.
Shout out to Lives
President
Everywhere
Trump
for being a member for the last 2
our
months.
base. It wasn't just the typical Republican voters. It was people of all walks of life, people who had given up on Washington because Washington gave up on them, and they finally saw a leader who was willing to fight for the hardworking people of this country. That's who Donald Trump has always
for
been.
that gift.
And all the people that knock Donald Trump ignore one important fact. There is no better, more passionate fighter for America and its hope and promise than Donald J. Trump. And President Trump said at every stop, if you elect me, if you give me a Republican House and a Republican Senate, these are the things I will do. It was kind of historic in a lot of ways. It should be commonplace that a presidential candidate runs on specific things and then delivers on every single thing he ran on. He said, I'm going to secure America's border. His opponents said they were going to keep the border open. He said, I'm going to actually make our country energy independent again and end the war, the attack on American energy that we've seen for 4 years, crush jobs, crush the economy, force families to pay too much for gasoline, and embolden the enemies of our nation like Russia, Iran, and others. And those days are over with this one big, beautiful bill.
Is it a good or bad thing, guys? Let me know.
Trump said a lot of other things.
The Senate Republicans speak on the passing of the big, beautiful
about not only
bill,
electing
guys.
Donald Trump, but about keeping this House majority and about electing a Republican Senate, is that they said, we're going to entrust this group of people to go and be different and to deliver on those promises. And when you look through all the historic things in this one big, beautiful bill, the wins for hard-working families, win after win after win, it's delivering on those promises. We are going to see economic growth. When Donald Trump signs this bill tomorrow on America's birthday, the independence of our nation, you will start seeing historic growth like we've never seen before. I've been proud to work on a lot of important pieces of legislation. There is not one group of people, and there is not one bigger piece of legislation that will deliver more great benefits for the hardworking families who have been...
We need 100 on that like button, man. Click those 3 dots, hit that thumbs up. Get the likes up, guys. It's 556 people in the building. Double tap your screen if you're on a mobile device and click those 3 dots and hit the thumbs up, guys. Let's get the likes to 100, man. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. The House passed the big, beautiful bill. How is this going to affect America? Let me know. Vote on the poll in the chat.
Struggling in this country than this one big, beautiful bill. There's a reason it was hard. There's a reason that it wasn't 2 committees like Tax Cuts and Jobs Act. It was 11 committees involved. Historic. We made great historic reforms in education policy. First ever repeal of a Second Amendment tax in the history of our country. A constitutional right being taxed gone in this bill. You've heard about a lot of the other provisions. One of the things you didn't hear about is school choice. Federal school choice for the first time ever. So low-income families will have an opportunity to get their kids out of failing schools. Every Democrat voted against all of those things. And they're going to have to explain that. Once the lies and the hot air and the long-winded speeches are over, people are going to go, I'm better off today now that this bill's signed into law and all the things you said didn't happen, but the great things that Donald Trump and this Republican majority promised did. And that's the testament to the non-ending hard work of this group of people. And I will tell you, I've worked alongside a lot of leaders, and I've been blessed to be a part of leadership in majorities, mostly. Minorities, too. It's a lot more fun to be in the majority. But you get in the majority to do the big things, to do the hard work. And believe me, this was hard work. You all know it. You all know how many times this bill could have died if we just said, you know what, it's probably not going to get there. There's a lot of reasons why you could say it's just going to fail. But this group always said from the beginning, and we told you this and we meant it, failure's not an option. Because the American people are counting on us. There's too much at stake. There was too much at stake from the very beginning, and we knew the power of what this bill will do for those families who are counting on us. And so every time it would have been easy to give up, we just thought about those families who entrusted us with their vote, and we had to deliver for them. We figured out a way to come together. People you never would have thought showing up voting yes. And I will tell you, all the leaders I've served with, I don't think there's one that held this group together.
Continue to get those likes up, guys. Double tap that screen. Subscribe if you're new.
We found a 2-vote majority at the beginning of this process. And Speaker Mike Johnson never one day wavered on his commitment. Donald Trump absolutely was our closer, and Donald Trump never stopped. Every day was there in the fight. Who do I need to call? What do I need to do? No president more directly engaged. And believe me, tomorrow at the White House, you're going to see a proud president who's ready to deliver on his promise to the American people. But this bill wouldn't be heading over to the White House tonight without the incredible yeoman's unwavering support of Speaker of the House, my dear friend, Mike Johnson, our leader.
They are celebrating, guys.
Thank you. This is the vote tally card. We're going to frame this one, okay? 218, 214. Listen, I'm not going to give you a long speech. A lot has been said today, and these people are exhausted. A couple of us quite literally haven't slept in 2 days, so I'm a danger to myself and others right now. I'm not going to speak off the cuff. I'll just say this. I mean, many of you have asked me this question in the hall over the last couple of days. But when it looked like that we might actually deliver this thing, particularly this morning, how did you know? I mean, what kept you going? Why did you think this was possible? You guys made an audacious plan. You brought the most comprehensive, complicated piece of legislation, probably, arguably in the top 2 or 3 in the history of the Congress, with the smallest margin in U.S. history, which we had for a big chunk of the first 100 days. And you put this audacious timeline. You said you were going to pass it out of the House by Memorial Day. I mean, some of you openly laughed at me when I said that back in early February. And then we said we would get it done by July 4th. We beat Memorial Day by 4 days, and we got this one done a day early. I just want to point out, okay?
The House passed the big, beautiful bill, guys.
So the question was, I mean, why? Why did you do that? Why did you think that was possible? Because it sums up. I would sum it up with one word. It's belief. Okay. We had a vision for what we wanted to do as a group. We believed in the election cycle last fall that we were going to be given this great blessing of unified government, that we would have the White House and the Senate and the House aligned, in alignment, unified government. And we did not want to waste that opportunity because we understand the history that comes along with it, the opportunity that we can do for the country, and we believe that we would have that chance. And then I believe in the people that are standing here behind me. I believe in this group, every single one of them individually. Some of them are more fun to deal with than others, you know. I mean that with the greatest level of respect. I love every single one of my colleagues. Even the ones I got to spend the more time with, right?
Guys, we got more votes than we got likes. Double tap that screen. Get the likes up if you're on the mobile device, or click the 3 dots, hit the thumbs up. The House passes the big, beautiful bill. We need at least 100 likes. Get the likes up, guys.
Because everybody's here. Their motive is right. Their heart is right. They're trying to do right for their constituents. They're trying to serve the greatest nation in the history of the world that we're going to celebrate tomorrow. We don't take that lightly. I know their hearts, and I know what their skill sets are, and I know what they bring to the table, and I get up every day excited because I know that each of them are going to bring that to the table, and they're going to serve their constituents. You could not have a greater group of public servants than the people standing in this room right here. They will give their all for this country, and man, that's what the framers intended when they put this thing together 249 years ago. This is what it was about. So I believed in this vision. I believed in the group. I believe in America. I believe we have the greatest nation. I'm I'm gonna say this very simply, and everybody here would articulate it in their own way. We had a tough 4 years before this last election cycle. We were in deep trouble.
Is this good
And
for
we knew
America,
that
guys?
if we won, and we believed we would, and we knew that if we got unified government, we'd have to quite literally fix every area of public policy. Everything was an absolute disaster under the Biden-Harris radical, woke, progressive Democrat regime. And we took the best effort that we could in one big, beautiful bill to fix as much of it as we could. And I am so grateful to God that we got that done as we did. Because of the dedication, yeah.
Hey, somebody said, yeah, we in so much trouble.
Lastly, it's no secret. I do believe in God. I believe in that motto that I referenced in the floor speech a little while ago. I believe that is what has made our nation the greatest in the history of the world. And some people shake their heads and they think that's old-fashioned or something. That is a fact. When the framers put this together, they stepped out in faith. They did something that no nation had ever done before. The great statesman, philosopher G.K. Chesterton of Great Britain said, America is the only nation in the world that was founded upon a creed. And he said it's listed with almost theological lucidity or clarity in the nation's birth certificate, the Declaration of Independence. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that we recognize, we boldly proclaim the self-evident truth that our rights do not come from the government, they come from God himself. He's the one that gave us our rights. That's right. Abraham Lincoln said in the Gettysburg Address, we are dedicated to this proposition, to one nation, under God. A government of the people, by the people, for the people, shall not perish from the earth. This is an experiment. It's only 249 years, y'all. That's not a long span of time in human history. It's just a blip on the whole scale of human history. It is up to us to save it. It's up to the duly elected representatives of the people to come here and represent. And it's up to every single one of us. Of the people, by the people, for the people, all of us. So you got to be engaged, and we got to pass this along to the next generation. Reagan reminded us, freedom's not inherited in the bloodstream. It's got to be protected. It's got to be fought for. It's got to be taught to the next generation so that they will have the same liberty, opportunity, and security that we have all known and too often take it for granted. So I just want to say, we're going to get to the main event here. We're about to sign this bill and get it over to the White House, okay? Some of these men and women have got to go catch flights and stuff. So we're going to sign this real quick, and I'll take a few questions. But I just want to say this: do not take for granted what we have been given. This grand experiment in self-governance.
Man,
we can
tomorrow
preserve
they will be
it.
signing
But we got to
the
do it all
big,
together.
beautiful
God
bill
bless you. Thanks
into
for being
law,
here.
guys.
Run it. I want to be the runner. That's a good.
Wow, guys, it's really happening.
Zach, y'all heading up? We're gonna head out, Tim. We're gonna head. Y'all head right. Yeah. Back to Iowa tonight. Get where that fighter pin. No, that's right.
Is this a good or bad thing? Let me know. Is the big, beautiful bill good for America, guys? Let me know by voting in the chat. Continue to get those likes up. And he has signed it, guys. It will now go to the White House for President Trump to sign it into law.
It's fun to stay at the
They are really celebrating, guys. Y'all know we ain't gonna do all the music over here that'll mess up the stream. That is crazy. They have just signed the big, beautiful bill to be sent over to the president to sign it into law, guys. And they are ecstatic about it. How do you feel about it? Let me know in the chat, man. Continue to get those likes up. Double tap that screen. Click those 3 dots. Hit that thumbs up. and most definitely subscribe to the channel if you are new, guys. They have signed this bill. It is going to the White House. Trump will sign it into law. How will this affect regular Americans? I've heard a lot of people say this bill is only for the rich and wealthy, guys, the upper class. It affects things like Medicaid, food stamps, all type of stuff, man. How do you feel about this bill being passed, guys? America New Bill USA, okay, they getting richer, okay. Ryder State got it. Just wait and see. The ones who said tariffs would run PR or our economy was a mess should go on mute. You are always wrong, okay? These guys, hello all of you, another Trump clown show. Wow. This is all bull crap. Okay, K-Cell. They have most definitely, let's see if they still playing music. Yeah, they have most definitely signed this bill into law. Finna signed it into law. They have signed it to be turned over to Trump, and he will most definitely sign it into law, seeing that he's the one that helped create and push for this bill to go into effect, guys. How does this affect us regular Americans? Let me know. Making it great to be back in their own home country. Is for everyone. Leo says it's for everyone. Trump and these are gonna be so mad when they realize what they voted for. Okay, this is a Main Street bill. It helps small businesses. Belinda says Elon is peed off. Exactly, Becky. They're like a pack of, oh my goodness, y'all, not demons. Wow, they have signed a big, beautiful bill in the law, guys. I don't know how to feel about it. But most people are saying this bill is only for the rich and wealthy and that it is a bad thing for normal Americans. Let me know. The only reason I got it on mute is because they're playing the YMCA and I'm not trying to get my stream knocked out, guys. That's the only reason. When they stop playing music, I will most definitely let them talk. Yeah, they turned off the YMCA music. But y'all see they are happy. Republicans are happy about all of this.
Congratulations. Oh, I'm sorry, ma'am.
They congratulating each other and everything. They say people are going to be so mad when they lose Medicaid and SNAP. I know for people who are on Medicaid or SNAP and are watching this, as of right now with what we've heard, they most definitely can't be happy about all of this, guys. You know, they can't be happy about this big, beautiful bill. This directly affects people who are on SNAP, you know, Medicaid, food stamps, you know, all that type of stuff right there. This is really not a good look for them from what I heard.
So sorry. No. Thank you.
Yeah, he is going to. He's coming.
Oh, he's coming back. Okay. That. And then.
Darling Nikki says, no, it doesn't affect them. Well, how not? All I've heard is people saying that it will affect Medicaid, it will affect SNAP, it will affect food stamps, it will affect all type of things. So how do you feel like it won't when that's all we've been hearing is what exactly what it affects?
I think you might want to keep it.
Thank y'all so much.
All right.
I'm so sorry.
I gotta do
You have to
this.
take
Press one,
questions.
press,
I'm sorry.
All right, now they taking questions,
Okay,
guys.
Sorry for all the chaos. That was kind of fun. A couple questions real quick. Yes. Yeah, so the question, you didn't hear, it's kind of loud in here. The question was, how did we get the holdouts to yes? Here's the, so my leadership style is I try to be a servant leader. And as I mentioned earlier, I know what every member of this body, every member of this conference brings to the table. And and the leader's job is to bring out everybody's best and get them to their highest and best use, and that takes some time. So what happened procedurally, not to get too deep in the weeds, but we got the Senate modifications to the House bill. Now we're really proud because the big beautiful bill, 85 to 90% of it is the original House product that we ourselves drafted over the course of more than a year. But when we went to the Senate, of course, as the other chambers have to do, they made some changes. They sent it over to us. We didn't have it for a lot of time. And so some members wanted to go really deep in the weeds on the changes, and they wanted to fully understand what those amendments were and how they would interact with the rest of the bill and how the administration would administer the new laws. And so there was a process there for a couple of days where we allowed that time for them to explore all that, to talk with leaders in the administration. President Trump was so generous with his time, answering questions himself. Vice President J.D. Vance was directly engaged. We had cabinet secretaries at a number of different federal agencies answering questions from members. Some of them even brought their agency attorneys in to get really deep in the weeds on the details. I knew as the leader that we would have to take the time to do that. And so some of that went into late into the night. And I was not going to make anybody, I was not going to demand anybody's vote or their position on the bill until they felt that they had exhausted that opportunity.
Let's get the likes
we did
up,
it,
guys.
and that's how we got
Continue to
everybody
double tap that screen or click the three dots, hit that thumbs up. We need more likes.
You made a joke on the floor about how White House legislative team practically lived here in the Capitol. Talk to me a little bit about how you got these members to yes. What concessions were made? We know it wasn't achieved in the Senate bill, but it was perhaps maybe comments through executive orders or future legislation. What are we looking at?
No, I mean, look, as I said, a lot of these members wanted to talk with the administration about how the new law would be administered by the Trump administration and the team. And I think they answered those questions. I don't think they exacted a lot of specific commitments or concessions or anything like that. It was just more an understanding how that would interact. As you know, this president has been a bold leader. By last count, he's issued over maybe close to 160 executive orders so far. We're trying to codify as many of those as possible. So a lot of the discussions were about what executive orders will be forthcoming as it relates to the new legislation, and how can we be involved as a House to codify that and do all that in a coordinated fashion. The beauty of unified government is this is exactly how it can work and how it's supposed to work, is that you have an interaction between the executive and the legislative branches, because that's what's best for the people. And that coordination is going to yield great results for the folks. So that was part of the discussion yesterday.
They have signed the big beautiful bill into law, guys. Somebody said we're screwed. Can we get 200 on that like button, guys? Click the three dots.
I literally don't know anything about that. I mean, I wasn't privy to the conversation. So I would tell you there's lots of rumor and conjecture and innuendo that floats around, especially when you got so many people wandering around the building and deliberating over their vote. So I don't know how much stock I'd put into much of that. But all right, last question. Yes, ma'am.
What's up, Brenda?
Entirely cut off from the IRA's private environmental justice funding. How do you say those other communities facing more pollution, more exposure from facilities?
Look, I think a lot of the estimations about what this legislation would do in a negative manner to communities in my state or any other are far overblown. I can tell you that this bill is going to be a great thing for everybody around the country, my constituents especially. What's good for Louisiana is good for America. We've got great tax policy here. I think they're going to feel this pretty quickly. Wages will rise. I think household income will go up. I think the job participation rate will increase dramatically. I think unemployment will be low. We're going to duplicate what we did in the first Trump administration. Remember, at the first 2 years, y'all have heard me say 1,000 times, it's objectively true. We had one of the greatest economies in the history of the world, and we're going to do that again, except this time much more comprehensively. We did tax cuts and regulatory reform, and that brought about a resurgence of the U.S. economy. That's what's going to happen here. It's about to happen on steroids, and we can't wait for that to happen. This is jet fuel for the economy, and all boats are going to rise. Thank you all for being here. We got to get a little rest. God bless.
Enjoy your
This is crazy, y'all. So the House passed the big, beautiful bill, guys. You know, like they said, there was a lot of speeches against it. Let's check out one of these speeches that was against the beautiful bill going into effect. Hold on. Give me a second. Continue to get those lights up while I bring this up. Give me half a second, guys. I got y'all. And then we got Trump, what he had to say about the big, beautiful bill passing, guys. Check this out.
Good life. Good paying jobs. Good housing. Good health care. Good education for your children. And a good retirement. That's what House Democrats are fighting for. That's the aspirational part of the Declaration of Independence, to bring that to life, the pursuit of happiness. That's the aspirational part. But then when you look at that Declaration of Independence, the second part of it, it reads like an indictment.
Let's bring in Lauren Fox. We do have indications that Leader Jeffries may be wrapping up his remarks soon, as he has now surpassed the modern-day House record with his marathon floor remarks, taking advantage of that magic minute, which certainly has grown into hours and hours here. Lauren Fox, you were there just outside of the House chamber. Talk to us about how this has gone. He's been at this now for several hours.
We heard the ones that said it was great. Now let's
hear from the ones that he's been at this now for more than 8.5 hours, Brianna. And clearly, one of the points that Democrats have been trying to make throughout this speech, the Democratic leader in particular, is that this is a moment that they want to make clear what the Democratic message is going to be going into the midterms election.
And after this,
you hear
we'll
him
hear
talking
from Trump,
so
guys.
much about the cuts to Medicaid. You hear him telling stories about constituents and Americans who may experience changes in their own lives because of some of these changes that were part of the Senate bill. That is going to be a central and core message that Democrats hammer home in the months ahead. And this is really a preview of what that looks like. He also made an interesting point a couple of minutes ago where he said, you know, he wanted to take this to the American people in the light of day rather than have this pass in the dead of night. That's often a criticism that each party levels against the other one when they have sort of these last minute votes in the middle of the night. Obviously, Speaker Johnson did have a key procedural vote in the middle of the night, but this, he argues, is an opportunity for the American people to see in the light of day exactly what Republicans are passing. Now, I will note that Speaker Johnson talked to me just a short time ago and made the point that he believes that Jeffries is telling lies on the floor, that as soon as they're done with this piece of the process, which is Jeffries' magic minute, he expects that they're going to pass this bill in short order. But it's just a really interesting moment to see what the Democratic playbook is going to look like going into the midterm elections.
It is, and Leader Jeffries just put down a binder a moment ago. He picked another one up and said in closing, so we are anticipating that he may be wrapping up his remarks. Let's tune in again.
Many of us had the great honor of serving with Congressman John Lewis. The great honor.
See, me, I'm a person, I like to hear both sides. I don't just want to hear what Trump and them got to tell us, the Republicans. I also want to hear from the Democrats. So I'm able to make up my own mind as well and hear exactly what it is from the opposing side that they feel like we're getting ourselves into.
Mr. Speaker, to serve with Congressman John Lewis.
That's right.
And I came across something that John Lewis said in June of 2028. That hopefully, no matter what the outcome of this vote, will give people some hope. Great John Lewis said, "Do not get lost in a sea of despair. Be hopeful. Be optimistic. Our struggle is not the struggle of a day, a week, a month, or a year. It is the struggle of a lifetime." That's our struggle. No matter what, Mr. Speaker, you decide to do today. That's our struggle. Standing on the shoulders of John Lewis. That's our struggle. Never ever be afraid to make some noise and get into good trouble. Good trouble. Good trouble. Necessary trouble. Standing on the shoulders of giants. John Lewis would often talk to us about his admiration for Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Dr. King, who would refer to John Lewis as the boy from Troy.
The boy from Troy.
Now, what's interesting to me, that civil rights movement, we can learn a lot from it. Started December of 1955. And Rosa Parks sat down on that bus so that all of us could have the courage to stand up.
That's right.
Wasn't an easy struggle. All the odds were stacked against these civil rights heroes and foot soldiers. And during the early days of the movement, a difficult part of the movement, Dr. King, after they've been targeted, arrested, beaten, harassed by the authorities, he traveled to Brooklyn, New York.
Yes. Brooklyn.
And spoke at the Concord Baptist Church. I think it was in March of 1956. And he said to a group of people of every race, every religion, every life experience, the Concord Baptist Church in Bedford-Stuyvesant, said to them, no matter what the odds, we've got to press on. Dr. King said that if you can't fly, run.
That's right.
If you can't run, walk.
That's right.
If you can't walk, crawl. But at all times, press on. And keep pressing. And so as I take my seat, I just want to say to the American people that no matter what the outcome is on this singular day, we're going to press on.
And the outcome was they passed it, bro.
We're going to press on. We're going to press on for our children, press on for our seniors, press on for our veterans, press on for our unions, press on for our farmers, press on for our dreamers, press on for working class Americans, press on for the middle class, press on for all who aspire to be part of the middle class, press on for the poor, press on for the sick, press on for the afflicted, press on for the least, press on for the lost, press on for the left behind, press on for the rule of law, press on for the American way of life, press on for democracy. We're going to press on until victory is won. I yield back.
And I also think that's something that people should keep in mind, that everybody ain't rich. Everybody's not middle class. It is some American people, black, white, and Hispanic, that's out there suffering. So when you vote on bills and you vote on things that could potentially, help you in your situation, depending on what your situation is, you got to also remember that there are other Americans out there that's doing worse than what you are. So I always keep that in mind. Sometimes you can't always think about self. Sometimes you got to think about the betterment of the community, the betterment of the state, the betterment in where you live. as something that's going to help everybody, not just something that's going to help you. I just want you to keep that in mind.
A standing ovation for Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries in the House as he shatters the record for longest speech while trying to delay President Trump's so-called Big Beautiful Bill. There, Leader Jeffries evoking the Declaration of Independence on the eve of the nation's 259th birthday, as well as late Congressman and civil rights activist John Lewis, Rosa Parks, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., saying to the American people that no matter the outcome today, he and Democrats will press on until victory is won, though it is all but assured that now the House will ratify the Big Beautiful Bill, as it's called, into law.
He had been speaking for more than 8.5 hours. He started this morning at 4:52 a.m. And throughout those almost 9 hours, he called out Republicans in swing districts for this bill that Democrats see political vulnerability in for Republicans, for the fact that what is in this bill polls so poorly. And you see him there, what is going to be a big defeat today for Democrats and a huge win for President Trump. We expect, if this passes the House and he gets his signature legislation to his desk, Hakeem Jeffries there still trying to inspire. And
all right, so just like I told y'all, Trump came out and spoke on this whole situation. Let's hear what the President of the United States had to say about the passing of the Big Beautiful Bill.
So we have a very big trip planned to Iowa. Some of you are going with us, and perhaps a lot of you are going with us. How are you? And we have a very big crowd, so it's going to be a lot of fun. And we're sort of celebrating like the biggest bill of its kind ever signed. And it's going to make this country into a rocket ship. It's going to be really great. I think when you go over the bill, it was very easy to get him to a yes. You know, we went over that bill, and point after point, biggest tax cut in history, great for security, great on the southern border, immigration is covered. We covered just about everything. Again, it's the biggest bill ever signed of its kind.
Mr. President, some Republicans that were concerned about the bill said that they had conversations with you where you made some promises. What promises did you make? Did you tell Representative Clyde that you could have some action on gun rights? What sort of deals did you make with those?
Well, I talked to a lot of different Republicans in doing it, and we had a good time in being there. I did not have much of a problem with any of them. As you know, we had 2 negative votes, but we had whatever it was, the final vote. Yeah, I think a few of them I did, but I think they would have gone yes anyway. No deals, no deals. What I did is we talked about how good the bill is. I mean, that's a deal, I guess, when you think about it. But obviously convinced them, but it was not hard. This is a great bill. This is going to be a great bill for the country. Well, I was disappointed that he did that. There were 2 of them that voted no, so I was disappointed that he voted no. We had a call. It was a pretty long call. We talked about a lot of things, including Iran, and we also talked about, as you know, the war with Ukraine, and I'm not happy about that. I'm not happy about that. No, I didn't make any progress with them today at all. I think we're going to get great growth. I think we'll have growth at record numbers. This is going to be something that's amazing, and everybody was watching it all over the world. And I want to congratulate the Speaker and Tom Emmer and Steve Scalise and everybody else. I mean, they worked so hard, so hard. This has really been going on for over a year, if you think about it. I think, to be exact, about 14 months. And this was the culmination, and I guess it ended a lot earlier. A lot of people thought it would end up the following afternoon. Well, it ended up late in the evening, but they were great. They were great. And by the way, on the Senate side, I thought Senator Thune did a fantastic job. I think I have more power now. I do. I could say, oh, gee, I don't know. I think I probably do because we've had a great record of success. My first term was very, very successful. We had the greatest economy in the history of our country. I think we're going to blow it away this term. But, we've proven certain things. And, I think probably it's got more gravitas, more power. Yeah. So we have a couple of other deals, but my inclination is to send a letter out and saying what tariff they're going to be paying. It's just much easier. We have, far more than 170 countries. And how many deals can you make? And you can make good deals, but they're very much more complicated. I'd rather, and I've been like this from the beginning, I'd rather send out a letter saying this is what you're going to pay to do business in the United States. And I think it'll be well received. I think it's just so many countries. And, then they go specific. Let's do this, let's do that, beef, ethanol. And I'd rather just do a simple deal where you can maintain it and control it. You're going to pay a 20% or 25 or 30% tariff. And we're going to be sending some letters out starting probably tomorrow, maybe 10 a day, to various countries saying what they're going to pay to do business with the U.S. I think that D.C. has to become a very safe place, and we're not going to let anything bad happen to D.C. That's our beautiful D.C., and we're not going to let anything bad, and we'll have something to say about it next week.
Why do you think why did you pause weapons shipments to Ukraine?
What?
Why did you pause weapons shipments?
We haven't. We're giving weapons, but we've given so many weapons. But we are giving weapons, and we're working with them and trying to help them, but we haven't. Biden emptied out our whole country giving them weapons, and we have to make sure that we have enough for ourselves. Who are you with? Oh, no wonder. Go ahead.
Yeah, this is Trump on everything from Russia, Ukraine, to the passing of the big, beautiful bill, guys. Continue to get those likes up, double tap that screen. Click those three dots, hit
Well,
that
I think it's
thumbs
going to
up,
be really a
subscribe if
message
you are
of
new.
proudness. You're going to be proud of your country because our country is doing fantastically well. The economy is great. You saw the stock market today. We're setting records, and in every aspect of our country, we're doing well, despite the fact that we inherited millions of people that shouldn't have been here. And I think we have crime stats that are coming out that are showing the lowest numbers we've had in many years. And that also despite the fact that a lot of people are here that shouldn't have been let into our country. So they're going to be very proud tomorrow. So we're signing at about 5 o'clock. And at about 5 o'clock, we're going to have B-2s and F-22s and F-35s flying right over the White House. And the Speaker and I and John Thune, we're all there together with most Republican senators and congressmen and women. And it's going to be a great day. So we'll be signing with those beautiful planes flying right over our heads. All right?
He'll be signing the big, beautiful bill into law tomorrow, guys.
Well, we're going to see. Steve is a great guy. He's a great negotiator. Iran does want to speak, and I think they'd like to speak to me. And it's time that they do. We're not looking to hurt them. We're looking to let them be a country again. They got beat up, and, they were both exhausted, frankly, but Iran really got beat up, and I think they want to meet. I mean, I know they want to meet, and if it's necessary, I'll do it. But Steve is involved and very much involved, and he's done a fantastic job. All right, one more.
President, on Gaza, do you still want the U.S. to take over Gaza as a part of a peace?
I want the people of Gaza to be safe, more importantly.
So that's what
I want to see safety for the people of Gaza. They've gone through hell. Thank you very much, everybody.
President Trump spoke on that on his way to Iowa, guys. They're having some kind of celebration over there in Iowa, and he's most definitely departed on his way there. Let's teleport over here to this live event that they have going on as they await the president, to basically pull up in Iowa, guys. It's crazy, y'all. So Trump's big, beautiful bill, most definitely passed, and he will be signing it into law tomorrow, guys, as he abords Air Force One. Hold on. Let's pull up this Iowa event. Because I most definitely got that as well, guys. He is supposed to be delivering a speech in Iowa.
Beautiful Iowa State Fairgrounds. I want to thank the great team here at the Iowa State Fair who has been working hard with America 250 to put on this event for you. I'm blessed to work with some of the best staff and board that there are anywhere in the United States. And we also brought some of your favorite fair foods here today as well. So hopefully you grab a corn dog or a cup of cookies or some ice cream today for sure. When our nation was less than 100 years old and the state of Iowa was less than 10 years old, a dedicated group of Iowans decided that we should have a state fair. And in 1854, they did just that.
Trump is going to speak at this event, guys.
That very first Iowa State Fair was meant to be a celebration, a place where neighbors could gather, a place where blue ribbons could be won, a place where new technology could be viewed, a place where families could be entertained, and a place where agriculture, our state's #1 industry, could be honored. And 171 years later, the Iowa State Fair is still here, and we are still celebrating as big as we ever have, despite all of the changes in our world since that first fair. The fair is a platform for all that is good about our state and our nation. It's a place where youth learn, a place where families safely gather, and a place where our state and our great nation is celebrated every single year.
This is the Iowa State Fair,
The
where
Iowa
Trump
State
is
Fair is not
about
unique.
to take the podium
In fact,
and speak,
across our great country, there are more than 2,000 state, county, and regional fairs that attract millions of visitors and generate billions of dollars in economic impact. But our fairs are more than economic engines. They are even more than annual events that you go to with your family. They are traditions rooted in community and connection. They are patriotic. They are all about America. Quite frankly, fairs represent the very best of our nation, and I think that's why you're here today. You also want the very best for our nation. We at the Iowa State Fair are so humbled that you are here with us when we realize that an event of this magnitude, the event that is going to kick off a year-long celebration of our nation's 250th birthday, featuring remarks by President Trump, that event could have been held anywhere in the United States. But we are blessed to have the opportunity to host it here, and we thank President Trump for that honor. So, if you're looking for something to do August 7th through the 17th, come back and celebrate Fair Sweet Fair with us. I guarantee it'll probably be about as hot, so you're already prepared for that. We would love to have you visit. And if you're not from Iowa, I know you've got a state fair in your state that you should go visit as well. Thank you again for being here tonight for this once-in-a-lifetime event here at the Iowa State Fairgrounds. Stay safe.
Can we get 25 more likes, guys? 25 more likes.
What a beautiful night to kick off a really big party. A year-long celebration of our great nation. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage Iowa GOP Chairman Jeff Kaufman.
I don't know what that song is. I know it sounds like some rock and roll or something, though.
I just had a little bit of a news flash for you. I'm usually known to be pretty bombastic and excitable, so I'm going to try to be calm today, but just in case you haven't heard, America's going to celebrate our 250th, and Donald Trump picked Iowa to start it all. He picked us, folks. Through the years, a lot of presidents have said, I'm the president of the heartland. I'm the president of small town and rural America. Guess what? We've got a man that practices exactly what he preaches in the White House, and he's all ours.
Man, they love Trump. Lord, y'all love Trump, boy.
And of course, you've all heard about the big, beautiful bill. That is passed. That is in law. And the Democrats that opposed it can go pound sand.
Now, he told him to go pound
And
sand,
just a little
guys.
clarification in case the media's hearing. Listen to this very carefully, folks. Do not cede an inch when you're talking to your neighbors and friends. And it's this. If you work and if you're legal, you're not going to get kicked off Medicaid. That's a lie.
All right, he cleared that up.
It's a lie.
If you're working illegal, you get to keep Medicaid.
So, I want to talk about a few other things today that are also beautiful, besides the big, beautiful bill. How about giving the money, the dollars, the hard-earned resources back to the people? That's beautiful. How about trying to erase trade and tariff deficits that have been around for decades and decades under both Republicans and Democrats? That's also beautiful. Reducing the temperature so that we don't run into a nuclear holocaust. That's also beautiful. How about protecting every single young woman's right to compete fairly? That's beautiful. And not only is it beautiful, it's the right thing to do. Thank you, Mr. President. And thank you, Governor Reynolds. And thank you to the Iowa legislature. You all met together to make that happen. And one other thing that's beautiful. How about that delegation, that congressional delegation from Iowa? All 6 of them voted yes to the big, beautiful bill. Now, let me tell you a couple things that are, well, ugly, not beautiful. How about the left-wing nuts that are infesting our dialogue and our universities? That sure isn't beautiful. How about the pro-Palestinian rioters that have lost their way and on tax dollars protesting?
My guy right here needs to calm down. He's screaming too much.
How about
He
opening
seems
up the
more
border
mad
like
than
the last 4
happy.
years and allowing danger to infest our country? That sure isn't beautiful. And this might be old-fashioned, folks, but let me tell you something else that's ugly, that's not beautiful. Yes, you have a right to do it, but it sure isn't beautiful. When we play the anthem, stand the hell up!
Oh, Lord. We need 15 more likes to 300, guys.
Other
Double
than that, I
tap
don't
that
have any
screen.
strong opinions today. I just want to end with a true story. This is going to sound like I made it up, but last night I was on my four-wheeler. I was taking my grandson Oliver for a drive out by the creek. He's 4 years old. Heart and soul, of course, I've spoiled him absolutely, completely, utterly rotten, which is what we're supposed to do. And when we were sitting there by the creek, I was telling him that I'm going to see President Trump tomorrow. So he had all kinds of questions about that. And there's an eagle's nest where we go down. That's why we go down and watch the creek at that point. Honest to goodness, it was like a Hollywood show. The eagle took off and was in flight and flying around. And Oliver said, look, Papa, there's an eagle. I'm truly not making this up. So I finally looked at him. I said, Oliver, do you want me to say anything to
Trump due to
President
speak
Trump?
at the State Fair in Iowa any second now, guys. That's what we're watching.
He says, Papa, tell President Trump that I love eagles. You know what? We love eagles. We love Iowa. We love this country. And here's a message that starts right now, and this can be a unifying message. And that is, and I want everybody to hear you, folks. I want them to hear you back there. We also love President Trump, period. Thank you.
This is a live event, guys. It's going on right now. 5 more likes to 300. Double tap that screen. Get the likes up. Make sure you subscribing to the channel if you're new. Here they go with more music. Yeah, man, they love and we love President Trump. They love Trump in Iowa, man. You know, they are most definitely celebrating over there, man, as the big, beautiful bill passes. Yeah, man, it's crazy. The only reason I muted it is because I don't want to hear the rock and roll music. It could mess up the whole stream, and y'all wouldn't even be able to watch it as far as over here, man. I'm just saying, what y'all think about this big, beautiful bill? I see that we got 2,000 votes already. We got 2,000 votes, 304 likes. Get the likes up and make sure that you're subscribing to the channel if you are new, guys. I'm just saying, man, Trump due to give a speech any second in Iowa. Yeah, they playing all kind of music over there right now. Trump basically boarded his Air Force One. He is on his way, if he hasn't already made it. I doubt if he made it there already, but he is most definitely on the way to give a speech to these people. What y'all thinking? Pepsi, so we vote all red again. Question, is there working people on Medicaid? I never knew. I don't know, Miss Pooh Bear, but I know that he said as long as you're working, you don't have to worry about being cut off Medicaid, whatever that means. Why do live feeds of Trump supporters always sound like they're drunk? I don't know, Lisa. You know, you have to, hey, look, I don't know. Maybe they have been kicking back a couple brewskis. I don't know what the deal is. I just know that Trump is due to give a speech here in Iowa any second, and we're most definitely here for it. Do your own research. Iowa, not redneck. Kentucky is red. Man, why is you in here with the rednecks? God, dog. Yes, it's income based, okay? Red for the win, MAGA. Y'all love Trump. If you never been to Iowa, don't diss Iowa. Okay. Hey, somebody down there said don't be dissing Iowa. Look like we got a problem in the chat. They liable to drag Iowa down there. I'm just saying, who is the guy to say who will or will not get cut from Medicaid? I don't know, Mo. You know, that's what he said. I'm just reading. Don't unalive the messenger. I'm just bringing y'all the information. Y'all do with it as y'all please. Let's go. Research. God bless President Donald Trump. Okay. All right. Mass delusion here. Okay. Here we go. Chris, you already know. That guy talks out his butt. Okay. Let's remove that comment. Misspell your cuss words in the chat. Robin, what? What are you talking about, Robin? Iowa born as Soldier Part 1 say he don't like Iowa. Y'all cook. May as well abandon ship. Just get a job. We sick of paying for your babies to see. What in the entire Donna? People with jobs most definitely have a hard time paying doctors to look over their kids. Everybody ain't in a good situation like you, Donna. Some people are suffering in America. Everybody ain't rich. Some people go to work and barely have enough money once they're done to buy groceries. Why do y'all be feeling like, you know, just because y'all have jobs, everybody else don't got one because they come up short? Some people work hard every day and still come up short, you know, so they need a little bit of help. Everybody ain't rich. What are we talking about? That's crazy. I know people that go to work every day and can barely make ends meet, man. And you down there talking about we tired of paying for babies and we tired of doing this and doing that. It ain't nothing wrong with helping people. There's nothing wrong with helping people. What are you talking about? 38K, keep on pushing, man. You already know, Southern Gale. What's the BBB? The big beautiful bill. That's what the BBB is. Congress passed it. The House passed it today. They'll most definitely be signing it into law tomorrow, according to Trump. Okay, we got another speaker. Let's see what she talking about. Yeah, they gotta turn the music off. Yeah, real talk, man.
That's right. Thank you all. God bless you. Thank you for being here to celebrate the kickoff to America's 250. What do you think? Oh, God bless our men and women in uniform. Thanks so much. I hope you're enjoying these videos.
It is a great day to be an American. Thank you, Iowa, so much. And we are just hours from kicking off the year-long celebration leading up to our nation's 250th year as the greatest country on earth. So, folks, join me in thanking President Trump for choosing Iowa to kick it off. Hey, Iowa has always had President Trump's back because he has always had ours. Whether it's protecting Iowa's first in the nation caucus status, championing our farmers, or revitalizing our economy and small businesses, Donald Trump is making Iowa great again.
Boy, they love them some Trump in Iowa, boy.
He has taken action to secure our border and keep our communities safe. And under his leadership, border crossings have dropped to a historic low. So we're not immune, of course, to the
say all
chaos
she does is lie.
created
Let's
by
go.
our southern border. Over 9 years ago, a young Iowan, and you all remember her, Sarah Root of Council Bluffs, Iowa, was killed by an illegal immigrant drunk driving. This tragedy never should have happened, but because of a loophole in the law, Sarah's killer was released.
We most definitely exercise the Copyright Act of 1976 on all videos played. This is for news reporting and educational purposes only.
Past 9 years. After the Biden administration removed him from ICE's most wanted list, we needed a White House that would take action on behalf of American citizens. Yeah, who was it? Donald Trump. So after his inauguration as our 47th president, President Trump wasted no time in getting to work. In fact, he made my Sarah's Law the law of the land at his first official bill signing in 2025, so that this tragedy never happens again. And folks, thanks to President Trump and the tireless efforts of his administration, guess what? Sarah's killer was located and extradited back to the United States in March.
I don't know, Sarah, but prayers for her.
He is now facing justice, something that Sarah's parents never thought that they would have. But we finally have justice for Sarah Root. President Trump does not stop working, and to Iowans. Abroad, his strategy of peace through strength is keeping us safe, and here at home, he is getting the government back to work for you and eliminating waste, fraud, and abuse. Right, folks? Make them squeal. So,
make them squeal.
As your senator, I've been committed to saving your hard-earned tax dollars and making Washington squeal. I've been leading the Senate Doge Caucus, and I've been working hand in hand with President Trump to drain the swamp. We are really making them squeal now. So what we're doing, we're castrating wasteful spending, we're halting taxpayer-funded risky research at Wuhan in China, and we're slapping for sale signs in front of empty Washington office spaces. That's because
somebody called them sheeple. Let's go.
Your
continue to double tap that screen. Subscribe
your
if you
own pockets. So, no wonder Hawkeye State Patriots overwhelmingly voted to send President Trump back to the White House. Your voices in November were heard loud and clear. We want him to continue his mandate because his agenda is getting our country right back on track. And that's why this week, the Senate did our job to pass his one big, beautiful bill.
Boy, there they go. They celebrating the
So
passing
we
of the
are
big, beautiful
lowering
bill.
taxes, cutting red tape, prioritizing rural America, and growing our economy. And with this bill, we've made his 2017 tax cuts permanent, and again, keeping your hard-earned tax dollars. So we are on the path to unleashing the golden age, not just for America, but for Iowa and every other state. With President Donald J. Trump leading the charge, we're going to accomplish so much more. So God bless you. Thanks to all of you patriots for coming out today to celebrate this kickoff. God bless the great state of Iowa, and of course, God bless these great United States of America. Thanks for turning out, Iowa.
She most definitely seems to be happy about the passing of this big, beautiful bill, guys. A lot of them are most definitely ecstatic about the passing of this bill. And one thing I can say from what I see so far is that in Iowa, Trump is the man. They love Trump in Iowa, guys. I'm talking about everybody that got up there said, yeah, we love Trump. Who did it? President Donald Trump. You know, when little Susie had a mishaps, President Donald Trump. All right, we got somebody else finna come take the podium. Another speaker about to give a speech, I'm guessing. They playing music. Y'all know we don't play the music, but as soon as he gets up there to give his speech, we most definitely gonna hear what he gotta say as we anticipate President Trump to take the podium and give his speech, you know, to the people of Iowa, guys. Continue to double tap that screen, get the likes up, or click those three dots, hit the thumbs up, and make sure you're subscribing to the channel if you're new.
For coming. It's nice to have hot weather, better than cold, but thank you for honoring our president, but more importantly, thank you for honoring the United States of America as we join this opportunity to be with President Trump to kick off America 250. We're once again first in the nation, just like every 4 years we're first in the nation. You know, tomorrow will be 249 years since 56 Americans signed the Declaration of Independence. By signing that document, they were traitors to King George III, but they're what you and I would honor as freedom fighters. They knew at that time that King George III was going to restrict their freedoms.
This guy looks like he was around when King George was here.
What every other British person would do in London and the British Isles. He was restricting their freedoms. And that's why they said in the Declaration of Independence, we're endowed by our Creator with certain unalienable rights, among them life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. By saying we're endowed by our Creator, we get our rights and freedoms from God. We don't get them from the government. And we know that 13 years later, they wrote the Constitution. The Constitution doesn't say what our rights are except in the Bill of Rights, but that's just a few of the rights that were guaranteed by God.
Yeah, Chris, I think he was there during the signing of the Declaration of Independence.
That we
he was there when they wrote the Constitution, allegedly. I'm just being
the American people from their government, and it still serves that purpose. And I hope that we appreciate that in America. You know, people of the left get irritated when we talk about the United States being an exceptional nation. It doesn't mean that we're better than any people anyplace else, but it does mean we're an exceptional nation.
Real
from the
talk,
fact
Miss
that we get our rights from God. We don't get our rights from the government, and it's the only society in 6,000 years of humankind that has ever had that relationship between the government and the American people. And what we're honoring for the next year is the preservation of that statement in the Declaration of Independence. We're endowed by our Creator.
Hey man, stop
with
spamming my
certain
chat. You
inalienable
about to be the
rights.
first person deported today. We see what you
And
said
we're
the
going to
first time.
emphasize
Don't
that
type
for
it
the
again,
next year
even A.
and honor it as we traditionally do. I would like to comment just a short period of time about the one big, beautiful bill.
Here we go with the big, beautiful bill again.
I was happy to stay up 27 hours to see that through to its finality. It's a bill that makes sure we don't get the biggest tax increase in the history of the country. And for all the Democrats that voted against it, they were voting to have the biggest tax increase in the history of the country. It strengthens our national defense tremendously. It fights waste, fraud, and abuse. Now you get tired of us using those terms, but I think we've proven through many studies that that's just exactly what happens when government isn't proceeding the way it should. And I thought I would take just a minute to tell you what my contribution to the big, beautiful bill.
Catch your breath, old man. We don't want you to pass out.
And immigration comes under our responsibilities, so we're going to finish the wall. We're going to add tremendously to the number of people patrolling that border, but more importantly, the number of people that are going to enforce the immigration laws interior, not just at the border.
Somebody get his oxygen mask.
And then we're going to build tremendous number of detention facilities so we can keep people that have come here on the terrorist watch list, come here with criminal records, come here as human traffickers, sex traffickers, and peddling fentanyl to our young people. We're going to make sure that they aren't walking the street.
I think this guy used to be a police officer, I'm telling you.
Cities
I
are not
can tell by the way he
havens for
talks.
those types of people.
He probably used to be the law.
So if I had to sum up what the Judiciary Committee did that I have the pleasure of chairing, it's going to make America safe again. I leave you with one last point that I don't think gets the attention it should, and it doesn't have to have any attention. But I'm going to make sure as chairman of this committee, by listening to whistleblowers, getting documents that are been kept from Congress of the United States, I'm going to make sure that everybody is exposed and the documents prove it. For the 8 years that the opposition was trying to put President Trump in prison.
He called them the ops guys who was trying to put Trump in prison. He said the ops.
Whether we had Republican or Democrat administrations over my years in the United States Congress, this president and his appointees to the Department of Justice and the FBI has given us the first real cooperation that we should have had under both Republican and Democrat presidents before, but it was just obfuscate and cover up and not let the truth out.
What's up, Miss Kim?
Because it's going to be embarrassing. So we're getting some whistleblowers.
Yeah, Brenda, he called them the ops that was trying to put Trump in jail.
Documents because I want everybody who had anything to do since President Trump went down that golden elevator in 2015 have been trying to get him out of the presidency, or when he was out of the presidency, getting into prison. We don't have to put up with that in America. President Trump hasn't put it in America.
They
And I
riding
want
on
to
the
thank
ops,
President
guys.
Trump and his administration for helping me make this stuff more transparent and never see that it happens again. Thank you.
He said if it's up to him, Trump would never go to jail ever again. The ops was trying to get him locked up. They ain't having it. That's what he said. He said they ain't having it. Yeah, Trump won't be going to jail. The ops was trying to get him locked up, and they not having it. That's what he said. He said he was there when they signed the Constitution. He was there when, a long time. He been there. That's what he said. I'm just saying. He said he was there during
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome.
He said he was there during the signing of the Constitution. He seen the Civil War, all that. I'm just saying, man, don't play with him. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, allegedly. I'm just playing. You know, don't take that serious. It was just a joke. You know, I know some of y'all will be out there saying, he's giving misinformation. No, I'm not. I'm just playing. Let's hear what this lady got to say.
Iowa, are we ready to celebrate or what? You know, isn't it great that President Trump chose Iowa to celebrate America's big, beautiful birthday?
Big, beautiful birthday.
And there is no better place than Iowa to kick off America's 250th birthday celebration than our state fair. Iowa, we have always come through for President Trump, haven't we? And today, it's America's state fair. You know, Iowa as a state did not exist back in 1776 when the Declaration of Independence was signed. It was 170 years later that Iowa was admitted to statehood. And President Trump, he could have picked our nation's capital in Washington, D.C. He could have picked Philadelphia at Independence Hall. Thank you, President Trump, for picking Iowa and bringing our celebration to the heart of the heartland. I'm Brenna Bird, and I'm so glad to get to work for you as your Attorney General.
The big billionaire bonus bill. Let's go.
Work every day to protect Iowans. And as a mom and a prosecutor, I will always protect our children.
She a prosecutor. She work in the courthouse.
I stand up for law enforcement.
Here we go.
Blue, don't we? Under the last 2 years of Biden, I was pretty busy defending your constitutional rights from that nonstop assault, whether it was the EPA taking on farmers, or they're taking away our Second Amendment rights, or even what we saw where they were going to force boys to be allowed in girls' bathrooms and sports. But we held the forces at bay, didn't we? We held the radicals at bay and upheld our Constitution, and a new day has come. What a difference since January 20th. You know, President Trump, he loves farmers, he protects our rights, he keeps America safe, and he loves our great country. And our great country is about 250 years old, one more year to celebrate. You know, another great president, Abraham Lincoln, he called our Declaration of Independence.
Trump is no Abraham Lincoln. Let's stop the cap, lady. Let's stop the cap.
What America is. And he said that it's an apple of gold and a frame of silver, the Constitution that enshrines our Republican form of government. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights. And
Abraham Lincoln. I'm sorry, y'all.
Liberty,
I'm sorry to tell y'all, he is no Abraham Lincoln.
That to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed. That is our Declaration of Independence, and I am proud to be an American.
I already know.
I'm also a
Trump
proud
gonna put himself on Mount Rushmore. Watch I tell you.
You know,
him and his supporters gonna make a new Mount Rushmore
per capita than any other state in the Union to fight in the Civil War, and that was when we were just in our infancy. And I'm proud too.
He's no George Washington either, John. Let's stop the cap, dog. Let's stop. Stop capping.
And I'm glad my favorite veteran is here tonight with us, Bob, my husband, who served in Iraq in the Iraq War in the Army. Combat engineer. Thanks, Bob. And in World War II, I am proud that one of the flag raisers
Absolutely.
at Iwo Jima
Trump is just
was
Trump.
Marine
Let's go,
Corporal,
Brenda.
then Private First Class Harold Pye Keller from Brooklyn, Iowa. And here in Iowa, I think we just might be the best thing since sliced bread, because the first bread slicing machine, it was invented right here in Iowa. In
Somebody
Davenport.
said he a modern day Al
The computer was
Capone.
invented at
TK.
Iowa State. And we are proud of our agriculture here, and we want the whole country to know it. I was born and raised on a farm, and I am proud. Iowa farmers feed and fuel the world. I'm also proud of this one. The first woman ever admitted to practice law, Arabella Mansfield from right here in
Chiquita,
Iowa.
I don't know what she's talking
And
about.
another good Iowa record. You ready for this one? Get ready. I think we're pretty good at electing presidents, aren't we? President Trump is a Triple Crown winner of Iowa. Last year, he broke records in our caucuses with a massive win. And thanks to you, he is back in the White House. Freedom is not free. We are the land of the free because of the brave. And we are so thankful that we have
Shrimp
President
sauce,
Trump,
what's going on?
where he has pledged his life, his fortune, and his sacred honor in sacrifice for our country to the principles of freedom, to make America great again. God bless you. God bless our President Trump. And God bless the United States of America.
Already, shrimp sauce. You know what it is. Man, it's crazy. That woman said he was the next best thing to Abraham Lincoln. Let's stop the count. Then John got there talking about Trump is the new age George Washington. Absolutely not. You know what I'm saying? Then somebody said something that I most definitely agree with. Trump is just Trump. He in a class of his own. Whether you like him or not, he is a class of his own. He ain't like now another president that we ever had before. You know, he most definitely ain't no George Washington. He most definitely ain't no Abraham Lincoln. Let's stop the capping, you know, and all that bapping. Let's stop bapping right now. That is bap, bap, bap. Yeah, man, stop playing with me.
But it wasn't until 1 year later, on July 4th, 1776, that news arrived of the signing of our Declaration of Independence.
Now we had a new army and a new nation.
With little gunpowder, no shoes, bloody feet, few cannons, little training, and even less food.
Valley Forge started in December. They went into winter camp in December of 1777. Approximately 2,000 Americans.
Somebody said you can't own nothing.
They never
amen.
ever gave up. Not this army. Not this first American army.
Finally, Washington and his army arrived. Here
There's
at
only one.
Yorktown,
They
where
broke
they had
the
General
mold,
Cornwallis
when
and
they
his
made
powerful
Trump.
British
Okay.
army trapped in this city
This
against
is
the sea.
Iowa. This is the Iowa State Fair. Trump is getting ready to do a speech. In Iowa, we basically just waiting on him to get up there and speak. He is currently on his way
Sailing
there.
from the Caribbean, the French
So that's
Navy
what
arrived,
this is. We're waiting
took
on
the
Trump
British fleet.
to come
Washington
give his
decided
speech.
to make his move. Our men began
Right now, they're
digging to
giving
get
you a
closer
history
and closer
lesson
to
on
the fort,
America.
finally getting within rifle and cannon range. Naturally, George Washington chose to set off our first
Jake say
cannon
we
shot.
used to have rights.
had
That
two
time
small
is over
forts in front of the
now.
main fort. They were called
Reported
redoubts
for
9
man,
and
ain't
10.
nothing missing.
Then,
I
on the
haven't did
moonless
any
night of
kind of
October
miss
14th,
in for
the
anything,
American and
bro.
French forces
I'm reporting to
attacked
you what
the
the
redoubt.
news is saying. Shut
The
up.
hand-to-hand combat with bayonets, knives, and fists was bloody, to say the least. But within an hour, we
How you
were
gonna report the
And as
news
the sun
for
came up the next
misinformation
day,
and I'm giving you
Cornwallis
what the
looked out
news is
and
saying?
realized he was
Stop
in
the
serious
count.
trouble. So he prepared an all-out, desperate counterattack.
It didn't work, and the British were forced to surrender.
We were supposed to lose to the best army and the largest and most professional navy in the world.
But our young army had won the war and our freedom. The freedom we hold so dear. And 250 years later, for what started as a ragtag group of shop owners, has now become the most powerful army in the world.
Today, many things are very different from that article you report down.
You sound like you're mad. Oh, I want to report. Oh, you're mad. You can't be mad. I haven't gave one form of misinformation yet. I'm reporting to you what the news is reporting.
When I look
Go
into
over
their
there
faces,
and tell them
you
they're
can
giving
see
misinformation.
That
I would
will
never
never
do such a
change.
thing.
God bless the United States Army, and God bless the
Yeah,
United
tell him to
States
go
of America.
report his daddy. Oh, all we do is win, win, win. Now that's my kind of music.
All I do is win, win.
Yeah, but I ain't gonna play it. Yeah, they got rap music going on in Iowa. I might need to go there, guys. You know what I'm saying? They playing rap music in Iowa. All I do is win, 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 no matter what. Yeah, let's go. Yeah, that's T-Pain. Everybody hands go up, and they stay there, and they say, yeah, up, down, up, down, up. What they know about that in Iowa, man? Well, I be dog. Yeah, she say, Jesus, Iowa's doing too much. Yeah, what they know about some DJ Khaled? Hey, that boy, you just almost made everybody leave from over there playing that rap music. They like, I don't like that noise. That's a lot of nonsense. Look at your guy. He telling them to put their hands up. Yeah, they don't really like that kind of music over there. Oh, man. Yeah, Grandpa back there talking about, can you turn off that crap? I don't know what they're saying. I don't know what they mean when they say that. Can you turn that crap off, Lily? Get up and go turn that crap down. And they say, yeah, up, down, up, down. I agree, Trump is in a class of his own. Trump is just who he is. Trump is, they know other like. Yeah, I'm just saying. I didn't say he wasn't a great president or none of that to offend any of you mega people. All I said was he was no George Washington or no Abraham Lincoln. When it comes to Trump, Trump is just Trump. Period. Yeah, man. But they most definitely passed the big, beautiful bill, guys. I'm trying to wait him out. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to wait him out. I'm getting impatient. YMCA is now officially the Proud Boys anthem, allegedly. Okay, all right. LOL, you guys are screwed, says TG Boogie, allegedly. Thin skin, red. Oh, my goodness. Never mind. What's up, Chiquita? Yeah, man. But Iowa is very proud of Trump, man. They are in support of Trump. They say he's a 3-time winner as far as votes. When it comes to Iowa, they are great. They are happy and gracious that Trump picked them to come deliver this speech. I already know he's gonna get up there and talk about them winning with passing the big, beautiful bill. That's the only reason why I'm waiting on him to take the stage. But he is most definitely on his way there. We seen him board Air Force One, so either he there or on his way. But he most definitely gonna be giving a speech. All right. So I put a poll in the chat that says, is the big, beautiful bill good for America? Let's see what it said. Let's see who won. All right. So out of 2.5K votes, out of 2,500 votes, when asked, is the big, beautiful bill good for America, 62% of y'all said no. 47% said yes. So the majority within my chat voted that the big, beautiful bill is absolutely not a good thing for America. The chat has spoken. What's up, Valerie? You know, they voted basically against the big, beautiful bill. According to this chat, they say it's not a good thing. That's what they said. John Smith said, but it is good. Well, my chat said absolutely not. They don't agree with some of the things that are proposed within that big, beautiful bill that we finna have to deal with anyway, since they decided to pass it and Trump is gonna sign it into law tomorrow. A lot of people seem to think it's a great thing, especially for people who go to work and get tips, as well as work a lot of overtime. They think that it's a great thing that he won't be taking taxes out of the tips and out of OT, man, which means they get to keep all of their money that they make when they work overtime or when they get tips and don't have to worry about giving the government a percentage. Some people said that it's going to make our taxes go up as well. They said we're going to be paying higher taxes. What y'all think about that? That's what the people say, so let me put allegedly on it. I miss when America stood for power, integrity, and freedom. Seems Americans don't like other Americans having rights now. They haven't even read the bill. They just don't like Trump. Okay, Austin, big BS billionaire bonus branded bill. Brain dead bill. Lord. Yeah, man, Lord, have mercy. That's what they called it in the chat. John Smith said, what's bad about it? Tip break isn't permanent though through a bone, but billionaire cuts are permanent. All right, billionaires get a break regardless is what he was saying. Not one person against the bill has read it. They are just against it. Brenda say, y'all cutting up. We going back to being a republic. That means no taxes, okay? Brenda Graves said her daddy home. Up to $25K, then it's taxable, okay? Maybe the chat should read it before they try to say if it's good or not, all right? Remember this message. Within 2 years, no tax on people making $200,000. Oh, wow. And the lower class will pay 3 to 5% taxes. Nope, I love all people. Me too. I love all people. Most definitely not racist over here. I love all people as long as you're respectful. I'll be respectful to you. You start being disrespectful, I'm going to be disrespectful to you. It don't matter what color you are. They will tax tips charged on credit cards. Cash tips will not be taxed up to $25K, okay? Yeah, I'll see it on C-SPAN. They actually read the bill for everybody out loud. They spend 15 hours reading the bill for the United States citizens. Not a mango Kool-Aid drinker, Bart. What? What's up, AJ? Well, when I was growing up, I most definitely drunk Kool-Aid. You know what I'm saying? What you got against Kool-Aid, dog? Just got paid. Here's something for you. Appreciate $2 out of whatever you got paid. Thank you, AJ. Appreciate it. Y'all brainwashed for Trump, they said. All right. This rally has, oh my goodness. I hope not. I hope nobody gets taken out the game at this rally. That wouldn't be a good thing. They read the bill. They read the bill. People could have listened. It is online. Okay. They consumer protection, love, tropical punch, Kool-Aid. Exactly, Lee. Okay. Boy said I was a bot. Mango Kool-Aid is for red hats, sir. Okay, TK. Read the bill in this stream. I dare you. Well, I can read I can play for you what they said when they read it out. I'm not finna read that old bill. What I look like? Do I look like a narrator for a book or something? I ain't finna read all that. That's a day. If it took them 15 hours, you think I got 15 hours to be on here reading that whole thing? It don't even matter no more. They already passed it now. We just gonna have to deal with it. What are you saying? We have no choice but to deal with it. No taxes on tips. No taxes on overtime. No taxes on Social Security. It's a good day, says Mary. Okay. Bart got me listening to Big Boogie. I can't go through it another time. All right. Overtime groups are police, FBI, postal workers, healthcare employees, military workers. The real businesses are going to cut back overtime. So who really benefits from no overtime taxes? All right. I don't have to read it. They told me I was good. All right. And middle class will be taxed 5 to 10%. Prop agenda bill. What is bad on the bill? John keeps on asking, what is bad? Well, we got somebody finna come up and speak now. She got on her Make America hat again. Make America Great Again hat. A white one in gold letters. I wonder what she gonna have to say. We got it, and another one, guys. Here comes somebody else to speak. They're finna say what they say. Let's see what she talking about, guys. I know they playing music. So as soon as she gets up to the podium and begins to speak, I'll turn on the audio so we can hear what she's saying. Boy, talking about he gonna report for misinformation. Boy, there ain't one piece of misinformation on this whole channel. How you gonna say, if they, in that case, they might as well take all the news stations down.
Who is excited that President Trump is in the air and on his way to the beautiful state of Iowa? Well, listen, y'all, there is no better place to kick off the new era of American greatness than right here, right now, on the Iowa State Fairgrounds. Let's go! Iowa is the backbone of America, and there is a reason for that. It is the small towns, it is the hearts of the people who live here who power our nation. Iowa feeds America.
We need 30 more likes
Iowa,
to 400, guys.
Iowa,
Double
you
tap that
fuel
screen. Get the
America.
likes up. Subscribe if you're new.
And Iowa will always be the beating heart of America. Our American Revolution was fought for many causes, all under the banner of liberty. But central among them was this: the preservation of a people who work the land, who love their families, who take pride in our country and our flag, and place their trust not in the government, but in our Almighty God. This is the foundation of our greatness, a greatness that is being restored by a leader we love and who loves you, President Donald J. Trump. President Trump never forgets that it is this state, that it is all of you, that it is Iowans who helped send him back to the White House for this, the most historic second term of our lifetimes. And this is why he fought for Iowa farmers in the one big, beautiful bill, which unleashes economic rural prosperity by providing the largest working and middle-class tax cut in history and saving your family farms from the crippling death tax. Listen, y'all, I am not from the great state of Iowa. I am a daughter of Texas's farms and small towns.
Let's go,
Got a few
Texas!
Texans here. I was just a small town FFA kid growing up baling hay and racing barrels in the tiny town of 1200 in Glen Rose, Texas. But it is
Glen Rose, I know where that's
learned the
at.
virtues that run deep through America's heartland. And that American way of life of hard work and self-sufficiency, of grit and of grace, of faith and of family is not some creation that came about by accident. It is the deliberate consequence of the great American founding itself. It is the creation of the founders and the expression of liberty and of freedom. The founders knew that the culture of entrepreneurship, of independence, of self-reliance, of risk, and of community that characterized the farming life and our farmers was indispensable to the new American Republic. No agriculture, no farms meant no liberty. It was simple then, and it is that simple now. Iowa and the whole agriculture way of life is therefore both part of the American experiment and a signal of its true success. The men who sacrificed themselves upon the altar of freedom at Lexington and Concord 250 years ago did so that this nation could exist now. If they could see it, and I believe they do still see it, they would say it was all worth it. That connection with history and purpose is important now more than ever, because we have, for the first time in a generation, a president of the United States who understands it and embodies it. President Donald Trump is American in ways the founders would immediately understand, and in ways that the pioneers who tamed this former
What's up,
wilderness
Kevin?
would have instantly recognized. He is American in ways that Iowans absolutely understand, so much that he won the hearts and minds of Iowans and Americans not once, not twice, but 3 times. And now that you have brought him back to the White House again, he is delivering on his promises. Inflation, the cost of goods, is down. Our border is secure. Our partners across the world are negotiating again for great trade deals for our farmers and our ranchers. And the world is returning to peace once again. And by the way, did y'all hear that the cost of eggs is a little bit down?
It ain't down where I'm at. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm in
President
Texas.
Trump's
They still
Americanness
high.
expresses itself in his agenda. As his Secretary of Agriculture, I can tell you firsthand that his passion for American farmers, for American ranchers,
I'm
for
trying
our
to
rural
figure out
America
where to, Yana,
is
because
unmatched. And
our
we
eggs are
have the
still
joy
high,
of
so is
keeping up
milk.
with him in that respect. And everyone knows that he is explicit and unashamed in putting America first, in defending American jobs, in defending the American border, in defending the American heartland, in defending the American farmer, and in defending the American dream.
Yeah, money bags, hey, man, gas still high too.
It's been almost exactly 1 year since that fateful day in Butler, Pennsylvania, when the world stood still. It is the most uncommon thing in the world to be shot, and then to rise and to tell the shocked and terrified crowd to fight, to fight, to fight, to fight, to fight, to never give up for this country. But it is also the most American thing. I mentioned Lexington and Concord, and there's something in that record of the American Revolution we commemorate now, today, that we must never forget. Lexington was an American loss. Concord was an American victory. But the battle records soon after were more losses than wins for a very long time. The revolution didn't end because of it, because those Americans knew the important thing was to fight. President Trump
It gotta be a
knows it too.
teleprompter out there.
And when you
Ain't
fight,
no way she remembering all
sometimes
this.
you win, sometimes you don't, but if you keep fighting and God is on your side, you always win. Tomorrow is the anniversary of our formal independence. The final
It ain't down
4th
where
of
I'm
July
at, Cuba.
before
Where
the
gas
grand
down there?
celebration
I still,
of
man, gas
America's
still high here.
250th anniversary, just 1 year from tomorrow. It's worth the celebration, but never forget that for independence to be declared, the people themselves had to embrace liberty and had to see themselves as masters of the new continent. John Adams said the revolution was not won on the battlefield alone. It was also won in the hearts and the minds of our people. And it is those hearts and minds to which this president fights and appeals, and which this great state of Iowa and our farmers and our ranchers embody so well. Your lives, your homes, your families, your faith is the true testament to American independence. Independence, after all, is not a one-time act. It must be won again. It must be won again and again, and it must be won again. And every generation proving itself deserving of the heritage that it receives. Y'all, we will have a celebration worthy of the anniversary across this entire next year. We are pulling out all the stops to celebrate 250 years of American greatness and President Trump's very special announcement that is coming very, very quickly here to you tonight in Iowa.
Well, in Texas, I was still like 325, Balla.
Just this morning, I announced that we will have in August the biggest most amazing American farmers market in the history of our country in Washington on the National Mall. And tonight, I want to invite all of you, every farmer, every rancher, every producer from every state who sell their beautiful crops and their products and their pork and their beef, to join us in Washington 1 month from today during National Farmers Market Week. But let me finish with this. We are honored to call the greatest country in the history of the world our home. President Trump would be the first to tell you, love your country. He would be the first to tell you that love America first. When you look around, and all of you patriots that are here, you can feel the love. You can feel the spirit of patriotism in the air. It is that same spirit that won our independence. And it is that same spirit that moved the first farmer.
Can we get 13 more likes, guys? We need 13 more people to click those three dots, hit that thumbs up. We almost to 400 on the like.
Another great Iowan.
13 more people, click the three dots, hit the thumbs up.
He worked as a barber in Northwest Iowa before deploying to France during World War I. Before he gave his life for his country during that war, he wrote in his diary that America must win this war. Therefore, I will work, I will save, I will sacrifice, I will endure, I will fight cheerfully and do my utmost as if the issue
they need to
of the
speed
whole
Trump
struggle
plane up.
depended
Lord, have
on me
mercy.
alone. Just as that brave young soldier who did give the ultimate sacrifice in World War I, we will work, we will save, we will sacrifice, we will endure, and we will fight cheerfully and do our utmost as if the issue of the whole struggle depended
We need 8 more likes, guys.
alone.
Click those three dots, hit the thumbs up.
Iowa. I will be back in a month for your Iowa State Fair. I will proudly be showing in your steer show against your Governor Kim Reynolds, your Attorney General, and others. So those of you at the State Fair, come say hello. What an honor. What a joy. Never forget to fight, to fight, to fight, to fight for America, for freedom, for liberty. God bless you all. God bless President Trump. And God bless the United States of America. God bless you all. Thank you so much.
Lord, she spoke for a long time. Trump ought to be there by now. You know what I'm saying? But as long as she talked, they gotta have a teleprompter. She talked for about an hour. You know what I'm saying? It gotta be a teleprompter there somewhere. Cause woo-wee, she talked for a long time. Oh, there they go with this music. Let's turn that music right off, you know. No, we're not gonna play. We need 6 more likes, guys, to be at 400. Double tap that screen if you're on a mobile device, or click those 3 dots, hit that thumbs up, and most definitely subscribe to the channel if you're new. We're waiting on President Trump to arrive in Iowa to give his speech. I'm about burnt out, though. I'm about tired of waiting on him. I'm about to end this stream. We might just have to start another one when he get there if he don't hurry up. But they're most definitely in support of everything Trump got going on, man. You know, they've talked on the big, beautiful bill a couple of times. You heard a couple of them get up there and say the big, beautiful bill this and the big, beautiful bill that. You know, so they are in favor of this big, beautiful bill. And I'm guessing this is why Trump picked Iowa to basically give his speech so that he can give it fresh right after they won the passing of this big, beautiful bill. LOL, come back. These speakers are a snooze fest. Lord have mercy, you hear me? Yeah, it's taking forever for Trump to get there. We watched him board Air Force One. He ought to be pulling up any second. But like I said, man, I'm liable to end because my head hurt. You know, we can't get 400 on the like. We 5 away. They keep on being stingy with the likes. I've been here with y'all 2 hours. We ought to be at 1,000 likes. We had 2,500 votes on the poll and only got 396 likes. You know, y'all some of y'all are seeming like some haters to me. You know, you should come in and double tap the screen every live. I've been most definitely consistent in bringing y'all everything going on when it comes down to this situation. From the debates to the actual voting. You know, and tomorrow they're gonna sign this bill into law, and if it's televised, we'll most definitely be there as well to watch Trump sign the big beautiful bill into law, man. I'm just saying, we are 2 away from 400. Appreciate it, everybody that liked. Make sure that you subscribe to the channel if you're new as well. Shout out to my boy AJ. You know, for the super sticker, he said, this is from Heather. This is from Heather already. Shout out to Heather, man. You know, and my guy AJ, shout out to Heather as well. We're 1 away from 400. Can somebody click the 3 dots and hit the thumbs up? It most definitely helps out the channel, man. Whether you like the information, if you're pro-Trump, if you're against Trump, I most definitely try to put out both sides. I most definitely want to hear what the Democrats have to say as well as the Republicans. You know, I want to know the pros and cons. I'm not one-sided on this channel. I'm sorry if you don't like that I'm not one-sided on this channel, but I try to cover a wide variety of everything and give both sides if possible. You hear me? Yeah, I'm trying to see if Trump gonna be the next speaker. If Trump ain't speaking next, I'm gonna just come back when Trump starts speaking. Cause yeah, man, I done got about worn out on waiting. I've been here 2 hours already. Thank you, Miss Pooh Bear, for the gift. Yeah, but yeah, man, they love Trump in Iowa. I can tell you that. Well, as far as these people right here in Iowa, all they have been doing is singing Trump's greatest accomplishments and saying how many times they voted for him. Yeah, we voted for him every time. This is a Triple Crown state for Trump, and we're excited that he chose us to give a speech. So he gonna give a speech today. Man, somebody put King Trump. That's your king. He ain't my king. He just the president. You know, he is most definitely not my king, not 1%. I ain't got no king. You know, I'm just saying, man, King Day is over with. They ended a long time ago. Now you just get presidents and stuff like that. He ain't my king. He your king. Yeah, for real. So when you type King Trump, put your King Trump, not mine. Absolutely not. All right, y'all. So I done got burnt out on waiting. So what I'm going to do is I'll see y'all when Trump actually takes the podium to give his speech. I hope y'all enjoyed this version of the show. You know, I put across all the information. The House most definitely passed the big, beautiful bill. It will be signed into law tomorrow by President Trump. You know, shout out to anybody that sent a super chat, a super sticker. Man, anybody that hit my Cash App, I most definitely appreciate you. Shout out to all my members. Shout out to all my new subscribers, all the old subscribers. Shout out to my moderator team. I got some of the best moderators in the game, man. And you can't deny it. They keep the channel running smooth. You know, yeah, man, smoother than a baby's bottom, like Trump would say. Just they keep it running. They make it easy. Easy. You know how you put them 2 fingers together and make that circle? Yeah, just easy. So shout out to y'all, man. I hope y'all enjoyed this portion of the show. I'll most definitely come back when Trump gives his speech. But right now, I'm burnt out on Iowa, man. I'm tired of listening to their politicians and all of that speak. I just want to hear from Trump. So with that being said, man, y'all enjoy the rest of y'all day, you know, and I'll see y'all here in a minute whenever Trump takes the stage, man. Y'all be safe out there. And with that being said, y'all know how this go. It's time for me to make my grand exit. Yeah, man, you know what I'm saying? Sidewalk Gang, checking out. Turn your notification bells on to all so you don't miss when Trump gives his speech, because I'll most definitely be back. With that being said, I'm gone, y'all. I enjoyed each and every one of y'all. I hope y'all got a piece of information that y'all did not know before y'all got here. All right.